Okay, so let's come to our mat. Week 1 of our 6 weeks. So we're working with chakra 1, which is going to be all about working with stability in your feet and then up into the lower pelvic floor region. So let's start by grabbing our yoga block and bringing it between our knees and thighs, establishing a strong mountain base. So mountain position is having the knees in a straight line with the ankles and also with the pelvis bones. Toes are forward, edges of the feet are in alignment with the very edges of your mat. Let's stand tall, maybe lowering the head just enough so that if we had an egg on our head, we want the egg to roll off the top of the head. And we could always close our eyes and tune into the sensations in the soles of the feet. Shift forward and back just with a bit of a shift, just enough to feel that the heels are trying to peel away from your mat, and then take it back and maybe lift only the toes, not the ball of the foot. Keeping the ball of the foot actively pressing into the earth so that we're sending signals of stability up through the arches of the feet, through the insides of the legs, all the way up into the pelvic floor and even into the low back. Now, somewhere between that shift forward and back, the body is going to experience what we call center. Sometimes we say, let's balance ourselves, but think of it as just centering yourself energetically. When you're ready, roll into the inner blades of the feet and the outer blades of the feet. So we're rolling in and out from that center point as we press into the inner blades of the feet, pull up through your pelvic floor. Keep the pelvic floor lifted, and now roll through the outer edges of the feet, keeping a lift in the pelvis, contracting the muscles low in the back and around the bladder. Now, somewhere between that inward and outward shift of the feet, we have center again, just another expression of center. Let's roll our shoulders down and back and lengthen through the crown of the head. Maybe keeping the eyes closed at any time if we notice that we feel dizzy, or maybe even we notice like a bit of anxiousness. That's common. You could always open your eyes. Otherwise, keeping the eyes closed, let's focus on the breath. Inhaling into the nose, push the breath down into the belly region, and try pushing your stomach out so that we fully fill through the abdomen. As you exhale, breathe out as if you're trying to blow bubbles, pursing the lips and pulling the stomach muscles in really tight. Inhaling, stomach goes out. Exhale, blowing bubbles, pulling those intrinsic muscles in really tight, up through the pelvis and in through the belly button. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. We might notice that the exhale takes a little more time to execute than the inhale. You can even begin to manipulate that rhythm. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Purse the lips, blowing bubbles. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Longer exhale. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Longer exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping the rhythm, let's add the arms. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Palms forward, purse the lips. Inhale, sweeping up, soaking up the breath, and then exhale slow. Pulling the inhale in, inhaling with a bit of effort, almost creating a vacuum effect. And then exhale. Two more, breathe in. And then exhale. Think of like a bellow or like an accordion where you're going to inhale and just really quick, and then as you exhale, it's like you're squeezing. We call it a bellows breath. Let's do just one more. Rush to inhale. Deep contraction to exhale. From here, let's lift both arms up and overhead to extended mountain. Imagine you're holding onto a bowling ball, so there's a sensation of weight in the palm of the hands. And with that sensation of weight, let's find opposing energies. We're lifting up to push that weight up overhead. And at the same time, the weight presses down into the shoulders, drawing the shoulders back and away from the ears. We can look up. That might feel more natural as an extension of the lift in the arms. We could also look straight ahead or look down to the floor. Let's shift forward and back, just like we did in the beginning. Feeling that the weight shifts forward, peel up the heels with just the slightest bit of a lift. Exhale all the way. On the count of 3, surprise breath. Hold it and reach up a little more. Uddiyana Bandha, it's known as the belly lock. When you're ready, drop your heels. Swan dive halfway down. Push the pelvis back. Imagine your tailbone is lengthening back behind you while the center crown of the head lengthens forward. Let's bend our knees so that we take some pressure out of the low back. When you're ready, place both hands down on the thighs, supporting a forward fold. Inhale in place. Exhale, lower down halfway, belly towards the block or belly towards the thighs. Inhale, come up maybe an inch or 2, and then exhale, come down a little deeper. Inhale up, exhale a little deeper. Final one, inhale up, exhale, release the hands down. So maybe hands go to the shins. Maybe the hands touch the floor if that's a comfortable stretch. You could always reach the hands across to the opposite arms, hanging nice and loose. Wherever you are, go ahead and shake the head yes. Let's turn our head left and right, allowing gravity to create a bit of traction in the spine, lengthening out your vertebral column and hopefully making us stand a little taller. When you're ready, take the hands down onto the shins. From here, press into your shins to straighten the arms. Let's support the spine and slowly bring the hands to the thighs. Press into the thighs, come up to standing, opening up the palms of the hands, moving into a strong chair flow. Inhaling arms overhead, maybe even looking up. Exhale, palms forward, sweep around, sit back, reaching with the arms. Hold chair just for a moment and notice what's going on with the shoulders. We're pulling the shoulder blades back. We might even bend the elbows so that we get more of a retraction in the shoulder blade, which is going to basically create a little more of a neutral spine. When you're ready, drop the palms. Inhale, come up, big breath in. Exhale forward, exhale down, little bend in the elbows so that the shoulders stay retracted. Inhale, rising up. Exhale down. We don't have to go too far down into this. It's more about just sort of like greasing up your hip joints and also the rotator cuffs. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hold it in the down position. Adding in that gentle shift again, shifting forward, just the slightest lift in the heels. And truly, we may not lift the heel at all. What's most important is that we actively tune into a shift forward with your center of gravity. Relax your jaw. Big breath in. Exhale, drop the heels. Forward fold again. Relax all the way down. Allow your arms to move into any position where you're able to maintain comfort with this stretch. Big exhale from the throat. One more. The more we relax the jaw, the greater we're able to relax your hips, your low back. Let's take our block out from the knees and thighs. Place it in the most upright position at the top of your yoga mat. Walking the hands up onto the thighs, let's come to standing. From here, turn any way sideways on your yoga mat, and I'll just suggest you turn in any direction where you're able to see me. That way you don't have to strain the neck over your shoulder. The toes are out and heels are in for a plie position. We're bending our knees and seeing that when the knees bend, they go in the same direction as your probably middle toe, second, third, and fourth toe. We can't always say go towards your big toe because sometimes big toes have personalities. So let your knees go towards your middle toe. Let's reach the arms up overhead. Your arms are extending out just like the YMCA song. That's the position. It's YMCA. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees towards those center toes and pull the elbows back behind your ribs. We're trying to keep the shoulders retracted. That way we strengthen those muscles behind your heart. Hands up. Good. Come down a little deeper. Inhale, reach it up. Arms diagonal. Exhale, pull it down. Keeping that rhythm of one breath, one movement. Now maybe try the breath that we began with today. So it's a quick inhale, and then it's a slow exhale. So you're slowing down the exhale and slowing down the movement against gravity, creating a lot of stability and strength in the hips, in the knees, ankles, and soles of the feet. Inhale big, exhale slow. Closing the eyes at any point. Once we've seen the movement, once we've had our eyes open to kind of track the knees and notice the breath as well, close the eyes and tune into the movement, getting to know it based on how it feels. Once we close the eyes, it is going to be more of a balance challenge. Purse the lips to exhale. It's a delicate balance of mobility and strength going on with the hips. Exhale, hold it in the down position. From here, let's take our hands on top of the thighs, preferably taking the fingertips down towards the knees, or even the hands just a little bit behind you. That way we're able to keep the shoulders back. So most commonly, people will turn their fingers in, and if you turn your fingers in, it's going to compromise your posture. Hands out, chest open, spine nice and tall. From here, lift just the right heel, pressing into the inside blade of the ball of the foot. Hold it there. Lower the right heel down, lifting the left heel. Let's alternate a few times through those heel lifts. Left heel down, right heel up, right heel down, left heel up, left heel down. One more each side. Actively pressing into the ball of the foot. Now, when it feels right for you, both heels come up, and it's just like we've practiced before. We only want to feel the slightest lift, enough to swipe a credit card under the heels, and then maybe when it gets more comfortable, when our body feels more confident, more stable, lift the heels a little bit higher. The higher the heels are, chances are the more we might feel a little bit of a shake or a quiver in the legs as the body knows to recruit all sorts of stabilizing and strengthening muscles. Now, once your heels are up, anatomically, theoretically, you can come down into a deeper squat because you've changed the angle of the ankle. It's going to change the pressure into your kneecaps and give you a little more mobility. Remember to smile, because remember, the more you bend your knees, the more you are saying to your psyche, I'm open to change. And for anyone who's ever been stubborn about change, your legs are probably shaking profusely. Just kidding, just kidding. All right, drop the heels. From here, straighten the legs, turn the toes forward, coming into standing straddle. Let's reach down towards the floor with our fingertips and hang your head nice and loose once more. If you know intuitively that your body wants to stretch out a little more, we could always take the legs out wider in our straddle. Continue to turn the toes in just slightly and tune into, again, that centered position, rolling to the inner blade of the foot, roll to the outer blade of the foot, finding that center position where we feel that the weight is equally distributed from the inner and outer blades of the feet. Let's shake the head yes. Turn the head left and right. Coming to a still point to safely come out of this pose. Begin to slowly turn your heels in And now toes in. Continue to inch the feet in, toe, heel, until we have our feet so close together that we feel that we can safely walk the hands up the legs and come to standing. Nice and slow, taking it easy on blood pressure. Let's turn to face the front of the mat. Making sure that we are close to our yoga block, starting with the feet open to the width of the pelvis bones. Let's roll the shoulders down and back and open the palms. Inhaling both arms up and overhead. Sliding our left foot back, a casual stride. So warrior one can be done a lot of different ways. You can have a really long stride, you can have a short stride. Just FYI, the longer the stride in warrior one, the more stress it's going to put on your back. Today we want to have a very short stride. In fact, if you could bring your left foot in so close that maybe you would only be able to fit like a dollar bill between your heel and your toe. You want your feet to be really close. Another thing to look at in this warrior one, usually your left toe is going to turn out, externally rotate. Try to turn it forward as much as possible. It's really common if it feels really hard to maintain that alignment. That's the whole point. The class is balance and strength. So press it to the inner blades of your feet. Act surprised, 1, 2, 3. Pull up through the pelvic floor. Sweep the arms behind you. Stack your left arm on top of your right arm. Or lace your hands together with your left thumb lacing over the right thumb. Roll the shoulders back. We're doing a chest breath now, chest breathing. As you inhale, lift your heart, lift your chin, and look up. Continue to shift forward while pulling the shoulder blades back. It may feel like you're doing a back bend. Exhale in place. 2 more big breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the ribs lifting with this. Inhale. Pull the ribs up. We want to stretch and open the stomach. And then exhale. From here, inhale, lift. Exhale, look forward. Flip your hips back. Bend that back left knee. So we have left and right knee bent. While the tailbone pushes back, start to angle your body over that right thigh. Just a little bit. Release the left hand from your back. Take it onto the right thigh. Let's keep the right hand tucked into the low back. So we can keep that left hand firm on the thigh. This will provide probably the most support to your spine. As an alternative, if you'd like to experiment today, open up the palm of your left hand so that you're pressing the back of the left hand onto that right leg. Now, press your leg into your hand and your hand into the leg. As you inhale, twist a little more towards the right, pulling that right shoulder up, pressing the leg into the arm and the arm into the leg. Looking over your right shoulder, breathe mostly into your upper right lung. 1 more big inhale. And now exhale. Bring both hands around onto your right leg, holding it right here. To intensify the stretch in the legs, straightening both legs so that it pulls your tailbone back behind you, then press into that front right thigh so it lifts your spine. Remember to smile. It's a big, big, big stretch. Big inhale, bigger exhale. Inhale, come up, bigger exhale. Inhale, come up. Think about aligning your shoulders with your hips or keeping your upper body parallel to the floor. Let's move into a little more low back strength. Check in with the knees first. So the legs are straight, but they're not locked out. We want to keep a little bit of play in the knees. If you like, take your left hand away from the leg and reach it behind you, palm facing down. Maybe hold that one hand there. Option to take the right hand away. Moving into an airplane expression with our warrior one or even the pyramid foundation. Now, if we're in an airplane, let's be airplanes lifting off. Inhale, little lift, push into the inner blades of your feet. Act surprised, 1, 2, 3. Good, higher, higher lift. Hold it there, big inhale. And now exhale, relax everything down. We have our yoga block at the top of the mat that we can bring into the practice. We could always push straight down into that block, giving a little bit more spine integrity to the pose. Focus on the breath. The breath is the foundation for everything. Big inhale, bigger exhale. 2 more. From here, let's bend both knees again. Walk that left foot forward. Maybe take the block just a little bit more to the top of the mat, and let's walk our hands up the legs. From standing, we'll find our original mountain position. Stepping the feet out in alignment with our pelvis bones. Inhaling, sweeping the arms overhead. Sliding the right foot back. Just a very casual stride. And again, looking at the foundation. This foundation is so important because we are going into a twist. If you have your foot out too much and then you turn this way, it'll torque your knee and it can pinch the nerves. So turn that toe in. From here, bending the left knee, we're shifting forward and then pulling our shoulders back, stacking shoulders over the hips. Let's sweep the arms behind us, right arm on top of the left arm, or lacing the fingers, right thumb laced over the left thumb. 3 big inhales, breathe into the heart. Pull up the ribs, pull up the chest, look at the ceiling. Exhale, let everything retract softly. Inhale, pull the breath in. Exhale, let it go slow. 1 more. Slow breath, slow exhale. Inhale, big breath. Bending both knees, feeling that little bit of a bend in the right knee now. We're flipping the tailbone back and coming down. Both knees are bent so that we get a lower center of gravity, less pulling on the back, just a lot kinder to the spine too. Inhale, come up a little bit. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Shoulders in alignment with the hips. We're turning towards that left thigh. And maybe we keep the hands by the back or bring the right hand over onto the left leg. Left hand is into the low back, or maybe even left hand on the hip. Option to open the palm of the right hand, pressing the leg against the hand and hand against the leg. If you're actively pressing that left knee out, keep focusing on pushing down into the inside of the left foot while you press the left knee out. Inhale and twist a little more. They say the most advanced yogis are those who are able to maintain peace and calm in the midst of chaos. So today, you all get extra credit. Everyone gets extra credit, okay? Inhale, pull the left shoulder up a little more. Twist just a little more to the left. And now come to center. From here, let's bring both hands down onto our left thigh and slowly begin to straighten both legs. Try it with an inhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, hold. Check in so that that front knee has a little bit of a bend. We definitely don't want to lock any joints out. Holding it here, inhale, lift a little higher. Pull up through the pelvic floor. Let's take our right hand behind us, palm facing down, in preparation for airplane. Left arm extension. Thinking about an airplane lifting off, coming up a little higher. If you're feeling this in your low back, your hips, your legs, your left ear, you're doing it right, I promise. Big inhale. And now exhale, relax all the way down. Option to take the yoga block into the hands, press down into support, hang the head nice and loose, allowing the neck to release any tension. And that tension in the neck can always creep into your shoulders. It can creep back into your middle spine. Exhale, relax the jaw, addressing the lower part of the spine. One more big exhale. When you're ready, seeing our feet, let's step our right foot forward, walking our hands to the shins, neutral spine, little bit in the knees, and now hands to the thighs, taking our time to come up to standing. Woo! Anyone else feeling it? Shake off your knees, move your arms a little bit. Let's step into a comfortable position on our mat, hands coming onto the hips. If you want, use your block as a visual marker to steady your mind. In yoga, this is called drishti. I'm going to put my block way towards the top of my mat. You could look at the top edge of the mat. Having the block sometimes is just a better visual marker for balance. Let's lower the head enough so that if we had an egg on our head, we want it to roll off. Looking just at that block, shift over into your left foot and lift up your right heel. Step one, opening up that knee out to the side. We can rest the heel, right heel onto the inside of the left leg. Let's check in with our posture. So even though we're looking down, gazing down, maybe lift the chin a little bit and keep the eyes gazing down. We can hold it right there. Perhaps slide that right foot up to the inside of the left leg. And if you know that the body wants a little boost, reach down, grab your leg, and bring it up a little higher. No matter where that foot goes, you are putting most of your weight on the left leg. So we are working on maintaining bone density, lots of stabilization in that left hip, knee, and ankle. It's common to even have some sensations in the soles of the foot. The muscles in the feet are working very hard here to stabilize all of our body weight on one leg. You could always take your hands away from the body, maybe even reaching them up overhead. This is where we started in the warm-up today, extending the arms up in a Y position with the fingertips spread. Breathe deeply into the heart. Big inhale. Blowing bubbles. One more big inhale. And blowing bubbles. When you're ready, lower the arms down. Let's step both feet down onto our mat and shift a little bit left and right. You could always roll out that left foot or left ankle. It was working very hard just now. It's been working hard. Let's do the other side. If you noticed that it was challenging to stand tall and keep your posture, back up on your mat or push the block away. Because the more you're able to look ahead, chances are the more you'll lift your chin and keep your posture tall. Let's find our drishti, focal point for balance. Hands can go anywhere you want. Bring your weight into the right foot. Check in. Weight rolls to the inner blade, to the outer blade, weight at center. Lifting the left heel, swivel in, holding there for a moment with the left heel pressing to the inside of the leg. Establish the gaze again. Find the breath, big inhale. Exhale. We could stay right here and reposition the arms or start sliding that foot in. It's okay to bend down and give a little boost as long as we stand back up and establish our posture. Either holding with the arms or taking them out. Usually the closer the limbs are to the body, the more we're able to maintain balance. As soon as we begin to extend limbs away from the body, this potentially creates more of a balance challenge. Focusing on the breath, it's a big inhale and a slow exhale. Big inhale. Breathe in like you're about to give a big hug. Big inhale. Open up. And then exhale. When you're ready, slowly lower the arms first. Both feet flat to the floor, establishing that firm foundation. Roll out the right ankle. Even when we're rolling out the ankle, we're practicing balance on one leg. Let's come to our center point. Inhaling both arms up and overhead, big breath in. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Either hold that forward fold, or if it feels right for you, step one foot back and then the other foot back to come into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog can also be done on the forearms. To make that transition, lower your knees down to the floor first, then come down onto the elbows and forearms. Option to lengthen the fingers. With our toes tucked under, we push back through our heels, lifting the knees. So down dog on the forearms is known as dolphin pose. It does have a different name, but so many similar and overlapping health benefits without pressure on your wrist. Focus on the breath. Continue to lift the heels and lift the hips. Shift the weight forward just a little bit. Oftentimes, these postures become interpreted as a leg stretch only, when actually we are shifting the weight forward to strengthen the upper body as well. Big inhale, bigger exhale. Let's all lower our knees down to the floor. From all fours position, go ahead and sweep your feet to one side, and let's come around into seated. Let's take our block and place it between the knees and the thighs in the most narrow position. We're sliding our fingertips back, thumbs past the hips. You could stay really fingertip light before we go into boat pose. We could flatten the heel or the palm of the hand. Another option is to come down onto the forearms, and side note, none of these variations make the pose easier. I just want to throw that out there. None of them make it easier for the core. You're going to get a core workout no matter where you go, so might as well make sure that your upper body is comfortable. Don't stress it out. Okay, so I'm on my hands a lot like this. So even though I don't have pain today, I'm still going to come down to my forearms because I know that I do that flat palm position a lot. Now, wherever you are, let's lift the toes and continue to squeeze those knees into that yoga block. If you're ever doing this at home, you could just fold up a beach towel, or you could even use one of those Pilates balls, lots of other options. Keep the toes lifted and start to lift your feet. There. Just hold it there. Okay. From here, yeah, and smile. From here, try straightening the legs. If it feels easy, that's great. If it feels easy, that's great. Things that I'm going to recommend so that we activate specific muscles. See that your feet are open to the same width as the yoga block. Imagine a yoga block between your knees. If your toes are touching, it's probably because you're rotating your thighs out. So touch your toes in and your heels out. And now lower your legs. Okay, keep breathing. It's not easy for me either. I'm able to fake it till I make it. Because I'm the teacher. Big inhale, bigger exhale. 2 more, inhale, exhale. You can lift them up, it'll make it easier. Make it easy on yourself sometimes, just do that. Big inhale, bigger exhale, and then relax. That's a beautiful lesson in yoga, right? Let me show you how to make things easier on yourself. Not always harder. Let's take the block off to the side. Let your knees roll over onto one side and let's lie down. And then roll onto your back. I know what you're all thinking. Yeah. Right? Let's bring our feet away from the floor, knees towards the chest. Wrap your arms around the sides of the thighs and gently hug the knees in towards your chest. So the body is getting this lovely embrace. We want to feel the thighs actively pressing into the lower abdomen, hopefully flushing out just different types of toxins from the gut and bowel region. Gently rock side to side here. Perhaps just giving a bit more pressure to the kidneys, a little bit more of a stretch on your low back. Let's come to a still point, pointing the toes, extending the legs towards the ceiling with the toes pointed, and then flex and point the feet a few times. Rolling out the ankles. Just a friendly reminder that you might hear the ankle joints pop a little bit. This is very common. It's not alarming for your joints to pop a little bit, as long as there's no pain. When you're ready, take the feet out wide and push through the heels. Hands are on the outsides of the thighs. We're pulling the knees down towards our shoulders, finding happy baby pose. From happy baby, we could always reach up, comfortably holding our toes or edges of the feet. Rocking again is an option, long as it's comfortable for the spine. Let's find stillness, and from stillness, gently release any pressure on your feet. Slowly begin to lower the feet to the floor, keeping the knees and feet wide. Bring your hands down, palms facing down, supporting the spine. On the next exhale, sway both knees over to the right. Pressing the left shoulder down towards the floor. Inhaling, knees through center. Exhale, knees twist over to the left, pressing your right shoulder down into the floor. Inhaling, center. Exhale, knees to the right. Naturally, when we sway those knees over, our left shoulder might try to come off the floor. Exhale. Relax the left side of your body and your ribs. When you're ready, other side, inhale up. Exhale, twist to the left. Exhale, relax your ribs, especially relaxing your right hip. Relax your jaw. Bring the knees to center. Let's walk our feet in slowly and maybe hug the knees to the chest one more time, resetting the low back. Let your body move in any natural way. From here, we transition into relaxation pose, and traditionally relaxation pose is with the legs straight, the arms out beside the body with palms up. Traditional relaxation pose oftentimes can aggravate the low back. If you're noticing that for yourself, I recommend bending the knees. It can be a little more comfortable to have your feet wide, then touch your knees together. As we continue to establish more and more comfort with the body, we can shift our focus to the breath. Considering the breathing technique we've been working with today, we inhale. It's one big inhalation, push it down into your belly, and maybe purse the lips, like whistling or blowing out birthday candles, slowly exhaling. Keeping the longer exhale, letting go of the movement with the mouth. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhale with the jaw relaxed. Relax your bottom lip away from the top lip. Exhaling, the breath is still slow. Regulating that long exhalation with mindfulness. Try doubling the amount of time that it takes to exhale. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, deep inhalation. 1, 2, 3. Slow exhale. Controlling the breath with the mind and the muscles in your core. Now allow the breath to be organic, letting go of any specific technique, letting go of any control over the breath. Instead, shift to what you feel. Physically noticing what parts of the body are heavy or most supported by the earth. Noticing the backs of the heels, the back of the head, perhaps elbows and shoulders. And with every exhale, allowing those longer exhalations to create a sinking feeling, a heaviness in the body. This heaviness is an expression of grounding, connecting to the earth. staying fully aware of those parts of the body that are heavy, connected. Also aware of the places where there is space, where we feel light. We might find space behind the knees. It could be the insides of the ears or even the nostrils, perhaps even sensing the space between our eyebrows. Shift awareness to the breath, perhaps only thinking about where our biggest breath might be today. And in the next 3 to 5 breaths, gently move towards that biggest expression of a breath. Inhaling with maybe a third more effort. Exhale all the way. Inhaling a little more effort. Exhale all the way. And this next breath might be your biggest breath, or maybe we still inch towards that largest expression of a breath. Using mindfulness with the breath and the body to stir just a little more energy and awareness. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Allow your body to move in any natural way so that we're able to comfortably make our way into seated. I suggest bending the knees, maybe even hug knees to chest, reset the low back. When you're ready, rolling over to one side to come up to seated. From seated, we can turn the palms up and sit nice and tall, lengthening through the spine. Big inhale into the heart, lift the chest. And then exhale, relax. 2 more of those expanding breaths in the body. Invigorating the body with the breath. When you're ready, let's inhale both arms up and overhead, pressing the palms together, drawing palms down to the heart center, a traditional closing gesture of Anjali Mudra. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, we can bow together in closing. Namaste.
Namaste.
Next week is class number 2, working with chakra number 2, nerves inside the hips and reproductive organs. The whole class is themed around water and fluidity. So we're going to work on moving gracefully with the body and the breath. All right.
We did.
Can't wait for next week.